Hello. Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers on the Xbox, on the Series X, for another DeWolfie1 Plays Space Engineers. Excuse me. All recorded raw. This is what you see is what you get, or what you hear is what you get. Good morning. It's morning here in the UK, and it's probably almost morning here on Pertum, or it's getting close. The planet that I'm on at the moment with this save, my survival save on Pertum. And I thought it might be nice to play some Space Engineers just for fun and to make some changes live on Twitch. So here we go. This is what I've got. I was messing around with my solar array, and what I want to do is I want to take that apart, and I want to build another tower of turbines over here. I also am running one or two mods. I'm running the sloped conveyor blocks and so on, but I'm also running Galax synthetic materials as a mod, and I want to take advantage of that. So I'm tempted, while I'm doing one thing, to pop an assembler up on top of this cargo container, because I happen to have 10.3k of gravel, and with Galax synthetic materials, any gravel can be processed into ingots. So let's see. If I open up my builder menu with the left stick and pop across to production and medical, and then to my survival kit, and press A, and then press X on that, I'm going to pop that onto the build planner. I can then come over here, hold down RB, press the inventory button, and put all my components in my inventory for use. Then, since I've got some hydrogen bottles, I don't mind wasting hydrogen. I've got a good supply of ice. I'm going to pop along here to my assembler again, and we're going to orientate it this way, and then we're going to spin it this way, and then we're going to weld it up. And if you remember, with Space Engineers, if you double tap your right trigger, you're just going to weld this constantly until it's done. So no need to hold down the right trigger on your tool. And the reason I want another assembler, as I said, I just want to make this use of the Galax synthetic materials mod on this save. There we go. Turn it off. Come down to Earth, or Pertum. And now we've got the assembler. We've got our gravel, we've got the assembler. I'm just going to open up this assembler with X and then flick across to the production. Now what I want to do here is, first of all, I want to change assembler to. Change its name just to something like assembler gravel, so I know in my system what assembler is doing what. Then on production, I'm looking at wanting... Ooh. Hello, Lightning Storm. Welcome to Pertum. Just a second. Let me just check. I bet this is an electrical storm. In a moment. Yep, electric storm. This is going to be fun. Oh, joy. Right. Close the helmet. It shouldn't affect me, because I've got some of these lightning rods hanging around, but we'll see. Last time I was on here, it was a dust storm, so something a bit different. On to my production. I want to put this assembler over here into repeat mode. And then I'm just going to have this tootling away with 1,000 gravel being converted each run to base ingots. All the ingots that you can get in the game, including uranium and so on. But it takes a long time to get any decent amount of end game materials, which is why I quite like the Galax synthetic materials. And I figured, since I tend to play a lot of survival without anything in the way of mods apart from 1 or 2 skyboxes, yeah, I was going to use it. So this storm is going to make things fun. In theory, I should be all right to begin to disassemble my no longer working solar array. I don't need it anymore. Especially on Pertum, you're better off with wind power. I mean, if you look at these turbines at the moment, they are cranking away in the air at high speed. And this is what happens when you get a storm on Pertum. The turbines go absolutely and utterly crackers, or whatever you want to say. Let's just I really should build a timer block somewhere on this base and just make some auto closing doors. I may do that as part of this as well. Lots of things to do. As you can see, I've got oxygen inside. I'm using an air vent here with an air vent outside on depressurized to oxygenate the interior. I learned that trick from Sander Van Oort. So a big shout out goes to Sander, who will probably end up watching this video eventually. One of my mods on the Exec Facebook Space Engineers Xbox group. So there you go. Anyway, if you're just watching this for the first time, and I see somebody is here, hello. This is just me playing Space Engineers. No tutorial, but as you probably know, or you may not know, I do tend to explain elements of the game as I go. And I want to get rid of this control station to begin with, because it's not going to be needed. The batteries are useful, they're fun, they'll work, and I'm just going to take these armor blocks off for now, and this camera. I can always use these components in future builds. This Pertem save's been going for a while, and this is the one that's actually been going since I've had the Pertum planet, ever since it came out. I've been on this particular one. I was quite lucky to find sources of cobalt and so on early, and there you go. The lightning's being attracted to the decoys. You can see one hit over there rather than hitting me, which I think is great. They're working nicely. But these solar panels, there's no need now. For this was pretty much just a test to see if it worked. And, well, it does, but honestly, as I said, wind power, best power for planets like Pertum. As long as you protect things with your decoys and lightning rod towers. If you want to know how to build those, you can go through my channel. You'll see how to build them. I've got tutorials up on how to do that. And running low in inventory space, so we'll just nip back down here. One great thing about this as well, hold tapping X, opening up the cargo container, and just press the deposit all button, aka the inventory button. And while we're here, we'll swing by my little O2 generator. We'll just throw that hydrogen bottle in and get that back. Looks as though the storm's passed. It's heading away. And no damage. Vehicles, on the other hand, Pertum, when there's an electrical storm, I've yet to build and test a portable lightning rig to deploy from a vehicle when there's one going on. It's one thing I'll have to do in the future. Of course, for those people who want to learn more about the game, I have lots of tutorials, over 100 tutorials. I've got new player guides, mod showcases. You can look at all that great content, which has been going for now over 2 years for the Xbox version, which is something pretty amazing. I didn't really start this channel, or rather start doing Space Engineers for any kind of major reason, apart from there was the lockdown on with COVID, and I saw lots of questions about the game, and I figured, well, why not? Let's help people get into it, and hopefully learn a few bits and pieces as I go. And I picked up new techniques and all sorts from my time with the game, thanks to the community. And I'm over the moon with the subscribers. 1.68k, I think, at the moment, which is mind-blowing to me. There are big things afoot. I can't talk about them, but eventually, hopefully I will. They are they're cool. They're cool. That's all I can say. I've had immense support from numerous quarters. Obviously, you know that I actually communicate with Keen Software, and I'm privy to details that not many people are. But I can't talk about those because I'm under NDA. But I tend to know roughly what's coming in the updates and so on, which is why I knew a chunk about Warfare 2, and I was really excited to see it all come together. And the custom turret controller has been an incredible addition to Space Engineers. The things you can do with that just outside of making custom turrets are brilliant. One of my favourite things so far has been to obviously turn it, thanks to Daddy Damo, into drones that follow the player. And if you mess around with the targeting system on those drones and set them to enemies, you can make basically fire and forget tracking missiles. So there's a lot of fun. Oh dear. Let's go. I always forget this bit. At some point, I really need to build a medical station as well, and flesh out this little outpost more. I've been pondering since we got the rounded glass, ripping the top of it off and just putting a nice rounded glass top. And maybe I'm going to remove that assembly up there as well, get rid of that completely, because we've got the searchlight. And I don't need the rig round the searchlight, because the searchlight on its own would work just fine perched on top of the block. Anyway, we go, getting closer to what I want to do. We just need to get rid of this block, the hinge and the rotor, and all these parts are going to be useful down the line. I do have a couple of things on here. I have my chunky rover, which I built on Pertum, and let's just get rid of these parts while I'm at it. I had my chunky rover and my little scout flyer over here, which has been bolstered with some more batteries. So that's good. Let's have a look on my assembler. Yep, there you go. Look, it's busy chunking away, making base elements of various things. Good. Quick save. Both bumpers at X. I'll pop that open. And now I'm looking at probably another 6 blocks or so atop this tower over here. So all you need for blocks are steel plates, and 25 of them. So you could just grab 100 or so steel plates or whatever, 200, and then you can just build the blocks. Don't need to really put them on the build planner, and I've got quite a lot of steel plates, so if we hold down the right bumper and tap A twice, we'll get 200 steel plates in the inventory. Feel free, by the way, to reach out through comments on the videos or even the community tab and have a chat. You can also find me on Twitter. I do tend to post there, and I post a lot of stuff about Space Engineers when I'm doing these videos, so you can track me down on there. You can also track me down on the ExSec official Facebook and also the Discord. We do have a Discord, which kind of functions also as part of the DeWolfie1 Space Engineers YouTube channel. It's armor block. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's have a look. Yeah. We go 7. Actually, I'm going to go 8, and then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, you can, if you want, leave it at that and leave it as a tower. But if you're running on a system that does have performance issues now and then, or an older system, you must be aware that the game is rendering through every single element of these gantries, the substructure. So if you weld them up, it only needs to render the surface of the block. Oops, just one there. You can also, if you want, just weld these up to the functional line, but honestly, I would weld them fully, especially on a planet like Pertum. But in general, you can get away with welding that. Now, don't worry about welding the middle one there. That's not a problem, because we need more plates. That's, again, not a problem. Another, in case I want to do anything else. Let's go another 200. Well, another 100. Remember, you can also press A twice and type the exact number of things you need. I'd also be interested as well on the comments of any ideas you might have of what you'd like to see me cover. If there's a mod on the Xbox that you're interested in looking at or seeing in any detail, I have one or two. There is indeed one which involves rotors. I can't remember the modder's name. It's something like Shoustool or something like that. But there's some very interesting rotors there, including one which actually functions as a hallway, which would be kind of cool for certain ship builds. Very inspired ship builds, things you might see in Babylon 5, maybe. So now we want 5 of these turbines. Now I should have enough. 1, 2. Oop. That. Move on with A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if I can just pull what I need straight out. Might not be able to. Yep, got them all. You can see all the parts needed to build those turbines there, with right bumper and inventory, just to drag them straight out without having to go into the box itself. And then all we want to do is just get the basic bits popped around here. This. As I said at the start of this is not a tutorial. This is just DeWolfie1 Plays Space Engineers, my excuse to do a nice chill game of Space Engineers without overly doing anything else. Just get me playing around with the game and making changes to my Burton base. I spend a lot of time doing tutorials, so this is a nice change of pace. Hopefully, though, you pick up some hints and tips as you go, and you enjoy watching the construction. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this base, whether or not I'm going to leave that demonstration HQ over there standing or reclaim all the parts. I may convert it into something else. Let's see. There is the completed turbine tower, and this is a really good configuration for turbines, because all of those turbines there will operate at peak performance without a problem. If you put another tower like this next to it, you'll get some loss, or you should get some loss between the turbines here and here. This is what you need to avoid when you're doing turbines, when you're doing wind power. Ensure that they're high enough off the ground and they also have enough clearance to offer 100% operational power. Right, let's go here again, and there's nothing to drop off, so we can quick save, recharge the suit on the survival kit. It'll also recharge if you sit down in a chair, so if you don't want to use the survival kit and you've got a chair, just sit in the chair. As long as the chair is connected to a base with power, it will do that. Lost another bottle of hydrogen, so we'll just throw both of those in there. We're getting trace elements of ice anyway from our assembler. And so it comes to this bit. I'm going to reclaim my searchlight, and I'm also going to reclaim the light armor blocks here. I'm going to also break this down into several videos probably. I don't want to go on too long. Probably about half an hour for this one, and then that gives me some chance to do another video this weekend, probably on Sunday, since I'm a bit busy on Saturday. That's one of the other reasons I decided to pop up a video today. That, and also, you know, I'm playing Space Engineers, I may as well stream it. I may do this more often. There may be or may not be a video attached to it, but that's why I have DWolfie1 Plays anyway. So, let's see. Do we want any more height on this with, say, one block up? Probably give me a good view. One or two extra blocks. Thinking about it. Let's have a look. Maybe two is a little much. So we'll take one block off. And then we'll weld this block up and we'll go and see. Now, let's see. Do I have the searchlight? Yeah, I think I have the searchlight unlocked because it's under lights. See, I must just check. Yeah, I don't have creative mode tools enabled. I do have a lot of stuff unlocked though. There's the lights. And there's the searchlight. Now this thing will move around on its own, but you can also control it, and that's what we want to do. Because this thing will come in really handy for operating at night, because what we can do with it is we can shine it down on platforms like this, If we turn the AI control on this searchlight off, pop into my little control seat here, and if we go here, you'll see that I used to have lighting. I don't anymore. Got the lights that are external to the base, but I don't have the shortcut that was there, which was to my old light system. So we just want to find searchlight and just choose control. Then in the control panel, if you don't want to scroll through any of this, you can type in. Obviously, I don't have too many components, so it's not too much of a problem. We'll turn the idle movement off. That can go off. That can go off. All this can go off. Apart from targeting characters and targeting friends, which means that we should be able to turn that off. And I'm just going to whack the radius and the intensity up for now and see what that's like. There's a blink length. Well, I don't want blink length. I just want this thing on. All right, as that, hopefully. There you go. You can see the lights on, and we can take control of it. And we can point it where we want. And the height should be about right to give us a good view down here. And if we run off around the base at about 800 meters, this will track us. So that's really all I need to do with that searchlight. Go and have a look. I think exactly what I want to do. Eventually, I'm going to take that roof off, as I said, and replace it. That'll probably be another video. See, our searchlight is looking at us from the top of that tower, though it's not quite tracking properly where it is. So we have to come up a bit, and there it will start following us. But it should be fine for distance like this. I could look at maybe mounting it on a rotor or something like a column. But honestly, I'm happy with it where it is at the moment. It'll do. And there we go. The next thing I really want to look at potentially is capitalizing on making my doors auto close. And the best way to do that is just pop a timer block on the grid. I could just dig a hole in this platform somewhere in the corner of the base and just drop a timer block down. Well, actually open the helmet thinking about it. I closed it due to the storm because that can harm the character when you're in a storm like that. The oxygen goes from low to none. So, yeah, I think that is going to be where I'm going to start thinking about cutting this one for now. And then on the next video, I'll look at taking part of that roof off and popping in some rounded windows, because the rounded windows are really cool. Of course, to do that, I'm going to have to think as well on where I want to put my air vents and whether or not I want to make it more on this side of the base than the roof, because of course with the, I can leave that open at the moment because it doesn't matter, the extra space up there, this will feel a lot less claustrophobic, and there'll be more light in the room. So yeah, there you go. That is DWolfie1 plays Space Engineers. A little bit of a chill chat while playing the game. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I shall be back probably Sunday, as I said. Might be a mod showcase, maybe a continuation of this one, maybe something else. Who knows? Until then, though, I'll say stay safe, take care, have fun, enjoy the game. Lots more to come, and lots more to come for Space Engineers, both this year and next. Marek has some great plans, by the sound of it, from listening in on those live streams, and also just in general, looking at his blog. It's going to be fun. Bye for now.